Hello everyone. I really did not want to talk about Stranger Things because there's just been so many videos that have already been made about the disaster that is season 5. Volume 1 was okay. I might make some sort of video talking about that, but Volume 2, we need to talk about this, okay? I'm not going to go into detail about what happened in Volume 2. I just want to warn you guys, there's one word that will make or break Stranger Things, and that word is Byler. Now, what is Byler, you're wondering? Is it the combination of Jonathan Wheeler and Nancy Byler? Nope, that is called Jancy, okay? Jonathan and Nancy. Now, Byler is the combination of Will Byers and his best friend, Mike Wheeler, who's Nancy's brother. Yeah, okay, so Mike is not gay as far as we know. He has not presented as gay. He's Will's best friend, so obviously he loves Will. He's concerned with Will a lot. He talks to Will a lot. He was one of the first people to hug Will when he comes back from the Upside Down and he's in his hospital bed. I can give you a lot of different examples as to, why Mike and Will are best friends. But if you go all the way back to the beginning, it was Mike that saw Will it is Mike who saw Will on the swings and asked if he wanted to be his friend. Okay, so are the Duffer Brothers going to tell us all the way back, this was like 10 years ago, all the way back in season 1, that Mike knew there was something about Will that he liked and was attracted to, and they were already gay for each other when they were like 11? Okay, when you're 11, you really shouldn't be talking about that kind of stuff, right? You're just starting to like boys or just starting to like girls or whatever. Do you really know what you want when you're 11? Should you be a 10-year-old child who's playing that part, who's been told for years and years and years that Will is gay, so you must be gay too, right? Yeah, Noah Schnapps, the guy who played Will, the actor who plays Will, came out like 2 years ago, and he said if it wasn't for Will being the brave person that he is and accepting that about himself, that he wouldn't have been able to come out. Things wouldn't have ended up the way that they did. Okay, so if we didn't think Will was gay from the beginning, even though Winona Ryder says something like his father, Will's father, who's no longer in the picture, was calling him Queer, Aqueer. So, I mean, the seeds were planted a long time ago. In season 3, Mike got really mad at Will because Will wanted to play games, and both like Lucas and Mike were dealing with girl stuff, right? So he goes out there and he tells Will, he goes, "It's not my fault you don't like girls." And then Will is like, "Oh shit, you know my secret." And then Mike kind of looks at him and he's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that." Okay, you would need to be hit with a gay sledgehammer if you can't figure out right then and there, Will Byers is gay. He's gay, and he's got a massive crush on his best friend, Mike Wheeler. Byler's endgame, guys. Oh, I really hope I'm wrong, because this is going to really hurt the legacy of Stranger Things for everybody but the biggest Byler shippers. And most of you guys don't even know about Byler. I would suggest you watch some of the YouTube videos about Byler. They actually like put segments together to show you, be like, "Oh, Mike looked at Will a little long here," or Will said something and now Mike is like processing it, but he's processing it like a gay person. "Oh, look at all the triangles on Mike's shirts." Just like with Robin, triangles are a symbol of gayness, LGBTQ. I don't know. Apparently this whole show has been gay coded. Is there somebody that's straight? I didn't know that. What I thought this was a platonic love story. If you were looking at the friendship between the guys, all of them. And yes, of course, between Will and Mike. But why does this have to be like every time we're dealing with platonic love between girls and guys nowadays, we're just waiting or dreading that they're going to have that moment where they look at each other and instead of being like, "Yeah, buddy," and like hugging each other, they kiss, they make out, all of that. My girlfriends growing up, I mean, we loved each other, but we weren't kissing each other, okay? We were hugging each other, we were there for each other, and if we did kiss each other, it would be like on the forehead. There are some things that make it that Byler could possibly be, like more than a 50% thing, and that is that Mike couldn't tell 11 that he loved her. And when he did tell her that he loved her in season 4, a lot of people are saying that it didn't work to save 11 from Vecna because Mike didn't really mean it. Because Mike is gay. He doesn't love 11 like that. He doesn't love Elle like he loves Will. And then they show like different variations as to like, here's Mike seeing 11, there's his reaction, and here's Mike seeing Will. And it's just so much more romantic, apparently. I just wanted to give you guys a warning. because if Byler is endgame, you need to know this, because everybody is really upset about the whole coming out scene that happened in episode 7. And then people want to say, oh, it's because we're homophobe or we don't like gay people. No. I've never had a problem with Will, the idea that Will is gay. I don't care about the gay characters as much as I do the message being slammed in my face like this all the time. This is the message. Here's the story. Here's the message. Here's the story. Okay? Message over story equals bad writing, okay? It means that the story takes a backseat to the fact that you want to put this message through, so you've got to fit it inside of the story. That means the priority goes to the message and not the story, and that is what we are dealing with, especially in Volume 2. We're getting a lot of little character moments, like with Jonathan and Nancy and their breakup scene, and that nobody could figure out that it was a breakup scene because it was an unproposal. When people can't figure out that characters broke up because your writing is so convoluted and poorly done, I'm not going to say it was poorly acted, because they're working with what they can, right? But it was badly done, like ambiguous, you know? I knew they were breaking up. And I was looking at my boyfriend and being like, are they breaking up right before they die? Like, what is that? Who does that? Who breaks up? They've been together for like almost 4 years, probably, because it's been like 4 years since season 1 and now season 5. They've been together a very long time. Took a little while for them to get together, but you know, the seeds were planted since at least season 2. And now they're breaking up right before they die, right before this whole entire area that they are in starts to fill with goo, and the house or whatever, the lab, and the lab just randomly starts to turn into this weird white goo stuff that's just like melting everywhere and is going to most likely kill them, drown them in goo. I wonder if this is the same goo that Vecna is feeding the children through his tentacle that is attached to himself right into their mouths. Yeah, literally, like, you gotta pull the thing out. It's very Matrix what is happening with Vecna, but it's with children. Inappropriate. Very, very inappropriate. And I didn't want to see that in the first episode, but I could not. First episode of Volume 1, but I couldn't unsee it. You know, people are putting Epstein's face on Vecna for a reason. I don't know what's going to happen with Stranger Things. The legacy is really getting tanked by just this one episode. The one episode where like everything is, it's a penultimate episode, okay? It's the episode before the very end. The world is coming to an end. You have the Abyss, aka Dimension X, where Vecna is stuck coming through the wormhole, which is the Upside Down, okay, guys? The Upside Down is not a separate dimension. It is not a timestamp of Hawkins in 1983. No. It is a wormhole. And don't ask me any more questions about that, because I don't have any answers for you. But anyway, one of the characters figured out from another person's journal that the Upside Down is a wormhole. So what's happening is Vecna's trying to bring the Abyss, where he is, through the wormhole, which is the Upside Down, down into the Earth, into Hawkins, where he will have control over a lot of things, including probably the Mind Flayer, who I hope wins. I hope they win at this point. Characters are so annoying. Robin, I loved you in season 3. I thought she was adorable. And she had a coming out scene, and nobody had a problem with it, okay? Now she gets all the lines, all the exposition. She annoys the crap out of me. You know, Rock and Robin, just die already. You and Vicky, just die. All you're doing is taking away from the main 4's story, okay? It's main 4? Main 5, okay? Because there's 11 in Hopper, and they're all in the, like, Upside Down the majority of the time, Volume 1 and Volume 2. And let me just say, why is 11 still wearing the same outfit, the same Josh Brolin Goonies outfit that she's been wearing for, I think, days? I don't know. That thing has got to be really stinky, okay? She finally changes, put on a wetsuit so that she can go into like the sensory deprivation tank so that she can fight Vecna, or who even knows at this point. All the characters, like the only thing they're talking about instead of building characters, development, or moving the plot along, are just telling us stuff. It's all exposition. It's all made for people who are not paying attention, scrolling around on their phones and look up occasionally and need to be told what just happened or what's going to happen. So for the person that's paying attention, you're just like, stop it! Just do stuff. Stop talking about doing stuff and actually do stuff. Now, when you're actually looking at what they ended up doing, the world is going to end, right? Everybody's trying to figure out a plan. What are we going to do? We're going to have to allow Dimension X / the Abyss to come so close to Hawkins, to our world, and then just, I think, blow it up or something. It wasn't very well explained. You know why? Because we had to spend 10 plus minutes on Will telling everybody that he's gay. Literally everybody. There was a moment right before he says, get everybody so I can tell him something, where he's sitting there with his mom. And you think he's going to tell her then. And that would be authentic to the 80s, okay? That would be real. You sit there with your mom and you're like, Vecna is going to use this against me, Mom. And I've known this for a while. And I'm sorry I kept it from you. And instead of being like, and you and I like Beagles. And you and I, we like chocolate bars, you know, and new Coke. We don't like new Coke. And there's things that I don't like. And that's girls. I don't care. All I wanted to hear was him sitting there with his mom and be like, Mom, Vecna's going to use this against me. So I have to tell you now. And maybe I should tell Jonathan and my brother, my best friend. Those would be the only people, okay? We are not telling Murray, who I don't think has ever met Will. We're not telling Nancy, who I don't even know if she's had a scene really. Has she talked to him? Has Steve? Why are all these people here for Will to tell them that he's gay? I'm sorry, that he likes girls. He couldn't even say, I'm gay. I was waiting for, I'm gay. Instead, I don't like girls. And that harks back to season 3 when Mike told him, it's not my fault you don't like girls. So I think that's why he used that wording. But here, it's the end of the world, yo. Why are we sitting here? And I know, like, right before it began, I'm like, oh, no. This is like an intervention. This is bad. This is not going to go over well. And I had no idea it was going to take him that long to spit it out. None of the characters have any sort of urgency in this volume. Maybe in this whole season. Like, let's get this done. Hurry up. Max was talking inside of Vecna's brain forever, even though there's a portal opening up that could get her out of there, and she's missed it before. But no. She's got to build Holly up. She's got to make Holly, Mike's sister, who is like Mike and Nancy's sister, who's never been a main character, who is a huge main character in this particular volume. She's got to build her up, and Holly, you're the Holly the heroic, and you can do this. You don't need no man. You don't need a boyfriend. It's all in here, Holly. Okay, peace out, Holly. I gotta get out of here. Sorry, I can't take you, but I'm in a freaking coma in the real world. So bye, good luck. You're 9. The writing, did somebody else write like seasons 1 and 2 for the Duffers? Maybe even 3. I know people hated season 3, but I gotta tell you, after season 5, after the dumps of exposition, the characters we don't give a shit about following their side quests or their people. There's too many people that are still alive, okay? This is what they should have done a long time ago, okay? Season 3. Kill Robin, okay? Let her come out and we'll be sympathetic towards her, and then she's Steve's best friend, and oh no, she's dead. Oh, that's so sad. It would be just like how we killed off Eddie. Yeah, you're killing, or Bob. You're killing off, the people that we meet that we aren't as attached to because we don't know them as well. We don't know them as well from season 1, season 2. Robin came in season 3. Kill her off, okay? Season 4. Who are we dealing with here? Max, who's been with us since season 2, who's Lucas's girlfriend, and who has been stalked by Vecna throughout the whole entire season 4. And she literally gets killed at the end so that Vecna can open up like the whole entire area behind underneath Hawkins so that he can start bringing the Upside Down in there, even though it's a wormhole, so I don't even know how that works. Max is dead, but then 11, her best friend, brings her back to life. And now Max this season has got to do what? I mean, she woke up from her coma finally in episode 7. But before that, she's all in Vecna's head, I guess, picking up different pieces of clothing from all the different memories and Vecna's memories, I guess. That was explained. She's like, oh yeah, she's wearing Joyce's shoes from the 50s, and then she found this shirt from Vecna's closet, and these are the patches on her knees are from Vecna's suit. I don't care about that. I get it. It's nice little details and stuff.